Family. I would like to talk to you guys a little bit tonight about my family. This picture that you'll see right here is a picture of my family. My 4 beautiful boys, who are also beautiful boys, creatures of habits. Like April said, we are from South Bend, Indiana, and we don't really see the sun shine for about 3 months over winter. So by the time spring break comes along, we're all anxious to get out of South Bend and get some sunshine. So every year, we would go to Siesta Key Beach, which is not actually too far from here. Like I said, my kids were creatures of habit, so we would stay at the same beach every year, and the same condo actually as well. So I, as a mother, last-minute mother, like to use that time to get a family picture taken. So every year, I would bring in a photographer, and we would get our family pictures taken there. So this picture, when I go around and I talk, I explain to them that this is a very, very special picture to me, because it was actually the last picture that was taken of our family as a family of 6. The following summer, spring break, we went to that same beach, the same location, and had our family picture taken. And this picture right here is what our family looked like. This is what our family looked like after poor choices were made by my 2 older sons, Nick and Jack. My 2 older sons, Nick was 19, and Jack was 18. He had just turned 18. 2 weeks before they both passed away. They both passed away on June 14, 2015. After attending graduation parties with friends. They were participating in underage drinking, and at some point during their time there, they were offered a prescription pill, and they decided to experiment, and neither one of them woke up the next morning. June 15th, I remember that morning so clearly. Being a mother of 4, I used the weekends a lot to catch up on household chores. That morning, I was going around their rooms picking up laundry. And I walked into Jack's room. And if you're a mother, you'll understand this. A lot of times we just sit and stare at our kids while they sleep. Watch them breathe and just enjoy it. That morning, I walked into Jack's room and I was picking up his dirty clothes. And I stopped and I was staring at him and watching him sleep. I remember thinking in my head, he is such a beautiful kid. He looks like an angel sleeping. Little did I know the prophecy that thought would hold for me that morning. I continued to pick up his laundry in his room. As I'm talking to him, Jack, it's time to get up and get things moving today. Dad has things that he would like you and Nick to help him with. He continued to sleep. Jack, this is not going to be one of those mornings where you're sleeping till noon. It's time to get up. And then it kind of piqued my interest because as I watched him, I thought, is he breathing? No, don't be silly. Of course he is. So I walked over and started shaking him. Jack, get up. Jack didn't get up. A little bit of panic starts to set in, especially being a mother who's also a nurse. Like, Jack. Jack continued to sleep. And I remember the thought going through my mind, what is going on in my house? I dropped the laundry that I had collected. I ran downstairs to grab my cell phone and I called 911. I cannot even begin to explain to you what is going through your mind at that time. I ran upstairs. I'm on the phone with the operator from 911. And they're trying to talk me through what to do. And I said, listen, I'm a nurse. I know what to do. Somebody please get here and help. That's all I remember saying was, I need help. I put my cell phone down. I put it on speaker, and I picked up my beautiful Jack out of his bed and laid him on the floor. And I initiated CPR. It seemed like an eternity had gone by. I remember she said, they're on their way. They're on their way. They're going to be there. They'll help you. In my mind, I'm thinking, hurry, 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 because I know time is of the essence. And then I was also hollering for Nick, my other son, my 19-year-old, because I knew that Nick was at home. He had been sleeping in the basement with his friends after they came home that night. Nick. So I'm screaming, Nick, I need your help, Nick. And Nick never came. Paramedics did arrive and took over the resuscitation attempts on Jack. At some point during my time that morning, a police officer attached himself to me, basically. He was following me everywhere in my house. I was pacing. I was frantic. I didn't know what I was. I just was confused. And he was just there for support. At some point, I saw one of the paramedics that was resuscitating Jack get up and leave and head downstairs into my basement. I remember I was looking at him and thinking, where are you going? Why are you leaving him? And then slowly, they turned into please, please, please don't stop on Jack. Please don't give up on Jack. Jack's a fighter. Please don't stop. Little did I know that he was responding to another 911 call out of my house. My other son, Nick, who was in the basement sleeping with friends, they heard my screaming, my calls, and they went to awaken Nick, and they found Nick in the same shape as Jack. I cannot even begin to explain to you what goes through your mind. I remember I was screaming, what is going on in my house? I had no idea at this point that they had experimented with prescription drugs that night. I thought, is there a gas leak in my house? What happened? What could be going on? And I remember one of their friends came up the stairs and looked me straight in the eye. And I probably wasn't very nice because I was just screaming at everybody. I said, what is going on? And he said they experimented with Oxy last night. And that was like the biggest blow ever. What? Oxy? Where did that come? How did they get their hands on that? Well, all these thoughts going through your mind. Nick and Jack's earthly journey ended that day on June 14, 2015. It's one of the worst days in my life. Since then, my husband and I have had so many questions. How could this be available to them? Where did it come from? And why wouldn't my boys just say no? We may never know all of the answers to those questions, but what we do know and what we have learned over the years is that there is a serious problem with substance abuse in our communities. Over the last 12 months, over 100,000 people in our communities have died of an overdose. To put that number into perspective, that is equivalent to 274 Boeing 747 jet airplanes crashing in our country in 1 year. That is one airplane crash in our country every day and a half, every 2 days. Now, if we had that happening, we would all be saying, what can we do to get these airplanes to stop crashing? Why are we not saying that with substance misuse and abuse? My husband and I took about a good year to sit, put our family first, focus on our other 2 boys. My youngest was 11 at the time, and my then middle child, which is now my oldest, was 15 at the time. So we really focused on them and moving forward. But the more we started thinking, we decided that we are going to turn our story into advocacy. So what did we do? We got involved in our community. I called up our police station. I called up the sheriff's office. I made meetings with the police chief, meetings with the DEA. I wanted to know why these pills are available. Why is there so many out there? How could these be available to kids? And we started collaborating. I remember the first opportunity we had was an event with the DEA. It was the DEA Take Back Day, which they do twice a year in every community across this country. It's every April and every October. We got some of our volunteers together, lots of family and friends, and we set up at a fire station house, and we advertised it. Clean out your medicine cabinets. Dispose of your medications for free. I think we even had coffee and donuts, trying to entice people to come. People came, and I think we collected somewhere around 260 pounds of pills. So if you think about that, that's incredible. You know how much one pill weighs. And if one pill could potentially take somebody's life, that could be potentially a lot of lives saved. So we started doing it every 6 months. And the last pill pickup that we did, we had over 25 different locations across our community. Volunteers that manned every location, fire and police officers there. And we picked up just under 12,000 pounds of pills in one 4-hour period in my small town of South Bend, Indiana. So when I say that there's a problem out there, there's a problem. But we can also be the solution. We can channel that into solutions. So we started doing that. We started getting involved. We also started talking about our story, Nick and Jack's story. As painful as it is, we know that we can connect with people by talking about Nick and Jack. And we know that in every crowd that I talk, there's a Nick and a Jack out there that needs to hear the story. Because would Nick and Jack have made a better choice that night had they known what the potential outcome of that could be? We also started a foundation. It's called the 525 Foundation, lovingly named after Nick and Jack's hockey numbers. Jack was number 5, and Nick was number 25. Our foundation has a mission to foster prevention in communities by talking about things, by promoting education and awareness so that no other families have to go through what we did. So today, I would like to leave all of you with a challenge. I would love to have all of you think about how you can make one choice in your communities that you can make a difference to hopefully impact your communities in a positive way, because you never know if that one choice is potentially going to save somebody's life.